fashion, politics,
economics, culture, weekly news, a roundup of national news of the week on Renouveau TV every Saturday.
Weekly news, the news to English speakers.
Time for our English Weekly program, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, welcome on Weekly News. Once more, welcome on Renouveau TV. The United States of America renews its commitment for food security in Mali. The ambassador of the United States in our country made Thursday morning the official launch of the partnership between the U.S. government and the government of Mali for the renewal for 5 years of the strategy to promote food security called Feed the Future. It was in the premises of the embassy in the presence of the Malian Minister of Agriculture. Report. Strengthening resilience and agricultural growth and improving nutrition for millions of Malians. These are, among others, the objectives of the new 5-year U.S. strategy investing in Malian agriculture through its USAID program. One of the 12 countries selected by the United States for this new phase of the Feed the Future initiative, the choice of Mali reflects the interest of the American people to sustainably reduce food insecurity, malnutrition, and poverty in our country. Other highlights of the ceremony were the visit of the agricultural stand installed for this purpose. Visitors appreciated the quality and diversity of the production. The Malian diplomat Alioune Blondin Beye died in tragic accident in search for peace in Côte d'Ivoire. To pay tribute to the man and resurrect his works, the club in his name celebrated the 25th anniversary of his disappearance this Wednesday at the peacekeeping school that bears his name. Report with Mohamed Golfa.
June 26, 1998, June 26, 2019, exactly 21 years ago, the Malian professor, lawyer, and later UN diplomat Alioune Blondin Beye died in a plane crash off the coast of the Ivory Coast while on UN control mission. A book of 150 pages written by his wife, Kadiatou Sall Beye, which highlighted the strategies adopted by Mr. Beye in the management of the Angolan crisis, is launched as a way of paying tribute to him. Guest of honor Angola, through their Vice President, Bonito de Souza Baltazar Diago, reminiscence significant role played by the late diplomat. He intimated that his effort helped revive the development site. After reminding the audience of the diplomatic qualities of Blondin Beye, the Malian Foreign Minister, Cheblé Dramé, on behalf of the President of the Republic of Mali, Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, entrusted to the Angolan authorities all the Malians living in their country. This day, commemorating the disappearance of Alioune Blondin Beye, was also used to look for ways and means of stabilizing the situation in Mali and the Sahel to combat insecurity, promote development, and bring peace and stability to Africa as a whole.
The bill of the prorogation of the mandate of the Member of Parliament was voted on Thursday in the National Assembly. 123 deputies voted for, 19 abstention, 0 against. Through this vote, the mandate of the Members of Parliament is extended until May 2, 2020. It must be remembered that the mandate of this legislature ended in December 2018. For reason of force majeure, the government had proceeded to a first extension which comes to an end this June 30th. So this delay has therefore been postponed for 1 year. After the region of the country, Accountability Lab officially launched this Friday morning the 2019 edition of Integrity Icon Mali for the district of Bamako. The launch ceremony was also marked by the presentation of the volunteer who will be deployed in the city of Bamako to identify the most honest official in public administration. Mohamed Golfa for more details.
Non-profit organizations evolving in the field of the fight against corruption, the promotion of the integrity and the governance in Mali, Integrity Idol Mali, Nowadays, Integrity Icon Mali aims at encouraging the officials to more transparency in current affairs management, an attitude that will lead to positive change. To achieve the objectives in Bamako, 300 volunteers will be deployed to identify the most honest officials in the public administration.
We had already launched the campaign in Timbuktu a couple of months ago, and then we organized this meeting here in Bamako so we can gather, we can put together all the stakeholders in Bamako and around so they can work together and understand what the campaign is. We have new volunteers. We need to talk to them about the campaign and also encourage them and tell them how it's important for them to get engaged and take the nominations very seriously, because the best we have volunteers understanding the program, and the best we can get high quality of nominations. I want the population to understand and recognize there are the key actors to combat corruption, because they will never be able to combat corruption if they will not accept to stop the corruption passing through them, because we have civil servants expecting money from population. So if they refuse to do that, things could be really easier to combat corruption.
During the meeting, the country director of Accountability Lab Mali highlighted the impact of this initiative on governance.
We had a very big impact on the first editions, because after the 2018 campaign, the winner, our idol, has been nominated Minister of Justice, which has been a huge recognition of our work. And we definitely want to push forward on this specific level and to make it happen. So this is something really important, interesting to us.
Integrity Icon is a global campaign led by citizens. It aims to spark debate around the idea of integrity by demonstrating the importance of honesty and personal responsibility in the management of public affairs while inspiring the new generation.
Fight against corruption and financial crime in order to help civil society and more particularly journalists fighting against corruption. The Advocacy and Lobbying Network organized this Wednesday morning at Modibo Keita Memorial a framework of exchange with the economic and financial pole and the men of Menjia. Mohamed Golfa details.
Despite the creation of multitudes of structures to fight against corruption and financial crimes, the phenomenon remains a system in our society, and it is to combat this scourge that the Advocacy and Lobbying Network has made the fight one of its priorities. According to specialists, they have taken on worrying proportions. To fight it, civil society organizations prioritize awareness. This exchange framework is part of the project Improvement of Governance and Fight Against Corruption in quote, funded by the Swedish partner Diakonia, whose aim is to contribute to the fight against corruption through a better participation of the actors of the civil societies.
The President of the Republic, Ibrahim Bakar Keita, officially established the triumvirate of inclusive political dialogue. It was this first day in favor of the ceremony organized for the occasion at the Kuluba Palace. In addition to members of the government, it brought together representatives of political parties, civil society organizations, signatory groups of the agreement, and partners in Mali. Commentary. The three facilitators of inclusive political dialogue are engaged in the new mission by the President of the Republic, Ibrahim Bakar Keita. After committing the commitment, support, and accompaniment of the homeland, the head of the state recalled the framework in which the dialogue will take place. The inclusive political dialogue must take into account the conclusions of the previous meeting of national interest, will say the President of the Republic, Ibrahim Bakar Keita. The challenges for the success for this great meeting are major. But the spokesman of the triumvirate, Baba Akib Hajara, promised to engage in accordance with the mentioned letter. Under this ceremony, the President of the Republic handed over to the three facilitators of the inclusive political dialogue their accreditation document. This is the main news of the week. Plays to the second part, which is the guest of the week. In the guest of the week, we receive Mr. Boli. Mr. Boli is a professor at Sahel University and Zayed Institute, Bamako. Mr. Boli, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sagara.
Welcome on Renouveau TV.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here again.
Thank you. So this evening, we're going to talk about Islamic finance and banking system. First of all, Mr. Boli, what is finance?
Okay, first of all, we have to define the words. We have here Islamic finance. So we have to define what is finance, then we will define what is Islamic finance.
Right.
When we talk about finance, we talk about the management of wealth. The management of wealth. So in this case, it will include investment, lending, borrowing, budgeting, saving, maybe in the international finance, because in a state we need some time to get money from international institution. And in finance, we have corporate finance, we have public finance, we have personal finance. When we talk about corporate finance, for example, we talk about companies, how companies get money to invest. So we want to talk about that in finance. When we talk about macroeconomics finance, so in this case, we talk about the state financing. So this is globally what is finance.
Okay.
So if we make qualification of Islamic in this case,
yes,
we want to talk about Islam. Islam is a religion, but in this religion we have law. Islamic law, what is called fiqh al-mu'amalat, or what is called al-qanun al-shar'i. So in Islamic law we have two parties. We have fiqh al-ibadat. That means in worshiping Allah, what are the roles? In praying, in making zakat, in performing hajj, what are the law you have to perform? In second party, we have fiqhul mu'amalat. This is transactions rules.
Okay.
For example, if you want to invest, so what is permitted to invest and what is illegal to invest. So in this second party of law, this is Islamic finance. So to define Islamic finance is about finance that is according to Islamic law. This is Islamic finance.
Okay. So this evening we are going to put an emphasis on the key principles of Islamic finance.
Yeah.
First of all, the prohibition of interest. So how do you understand prohibition of interest?
Yeah, in Islam, when we are looking for money, when we are investing money, we have to follow what the Quran mentions. So what is prohibited in looking money is interest. Interest is usury. So it is in Arabic, we said riba. So riba is prohibited by the Quran. So when I mention that in Quran, Allah says in Quran, وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْءَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. God said, I have permitted trade, but I forbidden interest. What is interest actually? When you lend someone money,
okay,
and you make condition when he returned it to make extra amount on the loan, this is interest. And in all religions, this is prohibited. In Islam, in Judaism, in Christianity, interest is prohibited in all the religion. In Quran, Allah says again, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa dharu ma baqiya min ar-riba. You who have conviction, or you believe in Allah, give up of consuming interest. If you did not stop, if you did not give up of consuming interest, so فَأَذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. In this case, you declare a war against Allah and His Prophet. You know, this is a big sin in Islam.
Really?
So can we declare war against Allah and His Prophet?
No.
I think this is a dangerous case in our economics.
Okay. So let's come to you again. What is difficult to understand today? If there is interest, how the workers of the bank, how the bank can develop, and how the different workers in the bank are paid?
Yeah. When later we want to talk about Islamic banking system.
Okay.
In talking about Islamic banking system, we want to see how they eliminate the interest in the transaction.
Okay.
So we want to see how the product, for example, when they invest money, there's a product of murabaha. In this murabaha, we buy something and we give it to our customer with a marginal profit. We want to see it later in our next emission, in our X show.
Yes, in the next emission we're going to talk more about banking system. So second point, prohibition of uncertainty or gharar. What is it?
Gharar is uncertainty of transaction. In Islam, when we make transaction, we have to define everything. Because in transaction we have price and we have subject matter. For example, when I sell a car to you, I have to define what is the price. And the car should be existed. If it is not existed, it can bring uncertainty. For example, if I lost my car and I said to someone who wants to buy my car, in this case, if my car is 1 million, because I lost it, I don't know where is it, I can say if you bring maybe 2,000, I will give you. So if you give me 2,000 and you did not get the car, in this case, it can lead to dispute and to conflict. Islam is here to bring us happiness in this world and the world after here. So gharar is prohibited in Islam to avoid conflict in the society. So want to see insurance, for example. If I have my car and I pay for insurance, in this case, if I pay, let's say $1,000, so in this case, if I did not get accident, so the insurance company will profit. In contrast, for example, if I get accident, that is more than what I paid. In this case, they will lose because they will pay me. So in this case, there is what we say in English or in economics, zero gain. If I gain, you loss. If you loss, I will gain. So Islam have prohibited this second element in transaction in financial case and economics.
One of the principles is also avoiding gambling.
Gambling is what we say in Arabic al-maysir. Al-maysir is prohibited in Quran because in Islam we have to get money by working, not by chance, by making effort. But gambling is getting money by chance. It's a game of chance. For example, in casino, you pay and you can get a lot of money and the second one will lose. And it can be that you gain and the second one will get it. So gambling also is prohibited in Islam and Islamic finance. This is our third principle in Islamic finance.
Profit loss sharing.
Profit loss sharing. You will see, unlike in conventional bank, for example, when they lend you money, they will lend you with interest rate. So in this case, they will profit. They will give you money against interest rate. So if you have the money and suppose your business is not going well, in this case you will lose. You only lose, the bank will gain at every time. But in this principle, profit loss sharing is a partnership. Mr. Sagara and his friend, or Mr. Sagara and Professor Boli, for example, we can get together money. Maybe I get 1,000, you get 12,000, and we work together. If we get profit, we share it. If there is also a loss, we share it. And another one, for example, you are, for example, a businessman, or you are a bank, for example, you have money, and you have one young, maybe graduated from school and have experience, have courage. For example, you give him money to invest in one sector which is profitable. So if the young man gets the profit in this case, you will share it together. So in case he did not get the profit in this case, you will lose together. So there is a conjugation between work and money. This is our fourth element in Islamic finance.
So profit loss sharing is for the best and the worst.
Or the best and the worst. Of course.
All right, now let's go to interdiction to invest in some area.
In Islam, we have some sectors that are not allowed to invest in. For example, in Islam, alcohol is prohibited in Islam. So it is not permissible in Islam to invest in alcohol. Prostitution also is prohibited in Islam. because women will be exploited. So Islam have prohibited prostitution. So if you are Islamic bank, you cannot invest in prostitution, even if you have a lot of profit in this sector, but in Islam, it is not allowed to invest on it. Another thing, it is not allowed to invest in pornography. Pornography is not allowed in Islam, so it is not permissible to invest in pornography. Also, it is not permissible to invest in weapon. For example, if there is war between a country and another country, or maybe in the same country, it is not allowable in Islam to invest in commerce of weapon. So, and pork also is not allowed in Islam, so it is not permissible to invest in pork sectors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, suppose I'm looking for credit at your bank, but you don't know really where I'm going to invest this money. So how do you know that?
So in this case, no problem. If you don't know what is demanded in this case, we have to make a lot of, we have to make maybe in bank, if you have Islamic bank, so there is a department for credit. So Department of Credit have the analyst. So they make analysis. So in this case, if we don't know what sector we are going on, in this case, we can finance you. But in your document, you will give us, I want to invest in this case, so we can give you our financial system, no problem. But if you don't know, no problem, we can give you. But later, if we know that the man is investing, for example, in prostitution, we have to give up our financing him.
Now, let's suppose I ask credit by saying that I'm going to invest in agriculture, but after you notice that I'm investing in another prohibited domain, so in which case there is sanction?
Yeah, it can be sanctioned. It can be sanctioned because Islamic bank, we want to see it later, Islamic bank is a bank that is governed by Sharia law, by Islamic law. So if the man, he derives from our concept or our principle, in this case, we can sanction him because in Islam we have sanction. Yeah.
Can a person who is not Muslim get credit from this bank?
Yeah, of course, no Muslim can get it. Because even in the time of Prophet, he deals with people who are not Muslim. For example, in Medina, there were Jews. So Prophet Muhammad, there was a commerce between him and the non-Muslim. So non-Muslim can get credit from Islamic bank and no problem. Another thing is that non-Muslim can even work in Islamic bank, no problem. I saw it when I was a student in Malaysia. So non-Muslim were in the Islamic bank and non-Muslim was seeking credit finance from Islamic bank. There is no problem in that case, yeah.
But what seems to be paradoxal, you just talk about the rule Sharia is used as the rule of this bank.
Yeah.
A Christian or an animist who is not Muslim had credit with you. So how do we implement Sharia on this person?
Yeah, we can, because it is a case of principle. If he is convinced that he wanna follow our element, he wanna follow our principle, no problem. No problem.
Okay.
So he can get credit from Islamic bank if he is not Muslim, and if he's a competent, and for example, he's accounting, for example, or he is a risk manager, for example, and he's competent in his file, no problem. We can call him and to give him one place in our bank. Okay. And if he wants to have credit, no problem, we can give him credit. Okay. But he have to follow our principle. Okay. Even, for example, in Western country, there is a lot of Islamic bank. In Britain, we have Islamic Bank of Britain. In US, there is the Islamic Dow Jones. Even in Australia, we have Islamic Bank. In Strasbourg, we have a lot of Islamic banking and system in many Western country who are not Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Professor Bole, next time we're going to talk more about bank system. But today, what do you have to add to what we just said?
Yeah. Today, even in Mali, today Islamic banking is growing a little bit because today we have two institutions that offer Islamic finance system. We have Coris Baraka Bank and we have Seed Caisse d'Intermédiation Islamique in Bamako here. So in Mali we have some institutions, two institutions that is growing Islamic finance system. So what is demanded for people who are watching us is to make or to look what Islamic finance. So can they get credit from the institution? Are there the institution alternative from conventional one? So this is the way. And another thing, we have schools now who are giving master in Islamic finance and who are giving license and bachelor in Islamic finance. So there is opportunity who have master, for example, in Islamic finance, or even have bachelor in Islamic finance. So I think the future is very, very, very boosting for Islamic finance in Mali. So I advise young people to go to Islamic finance. I am sure they want to get a good job in banks or in insurance maybe.
Okay. So do you have a last word for this first part of the show?
Yeah, I have last advice, inshallah. Next time we want to talk how Islamic bank works, because we know conventional bank, how they collect money and how they invest money. So in Islamic finance, the question is what? So can we invest money without interest? This is a paradox. Sometimes they ask us, so Islamic finance, you say Islamic finance, so how a bank can get the charges without interest? So in our next show, we want to talk about how Islamic bank works really. Yeah.
Sure. So, dear fans of Renouveau TV, we're going to put an end to this program here. Our guest was Mr. Serboli. He's a professor at Zaire University and Zaire Institute, Bamako. So we were talking about Islamic finance, and next time we'll talk about bank system. That means see you next time. Take care.
Weekly news.
Education, politics,
Economics, culture. Weekly news, a roundup of national news of the week on Renouveau TV every Saturday.
weekly news, the news to English speakers.